It's unchanged. I guess is this month set?
Yeah.
Or I get to use that? Yeah.
You got one set for the applicant there, yours set here.
Thank you, Karen, for the extra.
Oh, wait a minute, yours is numbered.
There's a bunch of federal numbers.
Yours is,
The extra dubbing in there?
this one.
I know.
So you just wanna set this number right there
Oh, this.
for you, that way it keeps you
So
straight.
we've got like 5 sets of.
All right, we ready?
5 sets
It is
of
8:30.
minutes to approve.
Yes.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, it is 8:30, Wednesday, September 7th. We'll call to order the regular scheduled TRC. First on the agenda is to move the November 2nd TRC to November 10th due to the election preparation here at the building.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next is minutes. We have several sets of minutes. We can do them all in one motion if you guys are all right with that. We've got minutes from July 2nd, 2014, March 4th, 2015, May 6th, 2015, and August 3rd, 2016.
I'll move approval.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Don't believe we have any announcements. Anybody? No? All right. So next, we will move on to our agenda items. Number 1, Peddler's Pavilion, pizza oven less than minor.
Yes, this is a less than minor application that been at TRC several times. At the last TRC, we requested a couple of additional information which we did not receive. And so at this point, I don't even know if anybody is here on behalf of Peddler's Pavilion. I would recommend to table it.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion,
I'll
yes.
second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Anyone here from the public who'd wish to? Seeing none. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next is, you're gonna have to tell me on this pronunciation. Chiringo, okay.
This is a major development order for Chiringo. They're proposing the relocation for parking spaces, adding 3 trees, an ADA walkway, and a bike rack. Staff makes the recommendation to approve with conditions upon review of the resubmittal.
Daryl Barnhill, Tom Talty, representing ECM Engineers. We ask that you accept your planner's recommendation. Let's move this forward, subject to our resubmittal.
Bob, was that a motion?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Is there anybody here from the public who'd like to speak on Chiringo? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next is Bayou Breeze Warehouse.
Mr. Chair, this Bayou Breeze is a major development order. It's a future land use designation of business park on 9.75 plus or minus acres. The parcel seems to be approvable, and we would make a conditional recommendation that a resubmittal be submitted and re-reviewed, make a conditional approval of that.
Daryl Barnhill, Tom Talty, representing ECM Engineers. Again, we ask that you accept your planner's recommendation, move the job ahead with conditions.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak on Bayou Breeze Warehouse? Seeing none. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Thank you very much.
Motion carries. Thank
Have a
you.
blessed day.
Have a good morning. All right, next is the Canaan Recovery Center Building Edition. There you go. Morning, Scott.
Morning.
Bob?
Mr. Chair, this is a major development order to request approval to construct a 4,982 square feet of institutional space, parking, access, utilities, and stormwater facilities on 2 acres. Would like to make a motion to approve conditionally pending comments and still outstanding comments, and have it resubmitted for review.
We have a motion by Bob. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sam. Scott, you got anything to add?
Sammy's.
He said he'll try to get her, he said
Okay.
that.
I just had a question for Sammy. I'll
Okay.
contact him later, so.
He said that he hasn't reviewed yet.
Okay.
So he'll get your comments when he gets a
Okay.
chance to review it. And then once his review comments are made, then resubmit.
Okay.
And we'll send
All
it.
right, I'll give him a call and stuff offline, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Scott, can we get your name, just for the record?
Oh, sorry, Scott Jenkins, Jenkins Engineering.
Thanks. Any other discussion? Is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak on Canaan Recovery Center? Seeing none, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor? Oh, Sammy just walked in.
Hey.
Come on down. This is Canaan Recovery Center.
Okay.
It's a building addition. Scott had some questions.
it already. Yeah, no, that's not too bad. Had a couple of questions from your initial review. We've since resubmitted, and I know you probably haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But one was associated with fire hydrant location.
Okay.
There is an existing hydrant that's actually on the main road there that's across the street, across from the site. Do you want us to run one onto the site also?
How far is it?
It's probably gonna be about 300 feet, I'd say.
To the back of your structure?
Yeah, probably further than that, to the back of the
Well,
structure,
we're
so.
probably gonna have to have
One
one
on site,
closer.
okay. And then also, there was a question about access. Obviously, the facility's gated and an enclosed
Right.
facility because of what it's used for. What kind of access are you looking for?
My concern is not being able to get to the back. And
Okay.
I feel like this project is going to probably add some more to the back.
Yeah, this,
Is that the plan?
no, this is all they've got, yeah. This
For
is-
now, or-
Yeah, no, I think this is all their property they have, actually, just that 2
We,
acres.
we can talk offline, but
Okay.
I want to be able to get to the back is the issue.
Well, in the last rendition, we have a little area for that,
Okay.
but I just wanna make sure it's good for you.
So I'll take a look at it.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve with the conditions. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Next is number 5, Cahaba Properties. Is that right? Rita?
This is a minor development order application submitted by Blueberry Engineering requesting to approve a less than 5,000 square foot fitness center on Logan Lane, in Brighton Beach, on less than half an acre parcel, future land use, village mixed use. We have a couple, comments on parking that we've talked about, so, I'm recommending this to be continued, because it's probably gonna have some significant redesign that we wanna bring back to TRC for review again.
Yeah, the owner's aware of the parking comments and stuff, so we agree to continue to explore some other options.
Okay. We have a motion to continue.
I second.
We've got a second by Renee, and this is to continue to the next TRC.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Anyone from the public who wishes to speak on the Cahaba Properties project? Seeing none. We have a motion second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next is number 6, Sandestin Owners Association offices. Renee?
This is a minor development order application submitted by Interlight Engineering, requesting approval to build a bridge from Audubon Drive, to the, what's known as the Reeves parcel. to build an office complex from one single-family dwelling that's 1,945 square feet. They'll also include a 5,400 square foot open covered parking area that's within the coastal center land use. There is some outstanding comments from planning and engineering, nothing that I see that's substantial to hold us up from moving it forward today. Any questions?
We don't. Good morning. I'm David Smith with Interlight Engineering Corporation.
I'm Michelle Anchors, I'm the attorney for Sandestin Owners Association.
And we have reviewed the staff report. We agree. I mean, all the comments look minor. We've addressed a lot of these already, so we would respectfully request to be moved forward.
We have a motion by Renee, second by Bob. Any other discussion?
We have some public that's actually here for this, I
Okay.
believe, so we'll give them an opportunity to speak.
Yeah, is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak on the Sandestin Owners Association offices?
You're up.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind coming forward and stating your name.
Sure. My name's Justin Remel.
Can you,
It's right here?
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's kind of full right here. If you wouldn't mind spelling your last name?
Sure. R-E, M as in Michael, O-L, and I'm the attorney for the Reeves, the adjacent property owners to the Sandestin office site. And you'll forgive us, we rolled in here
Just
a
in
few minutes
time.
ago.
Yeah.
But our understanding is that the way that the application's been submitted, that there's gonna be no use of the easement that leads from the Sandestin office site to Highway 98 for the purposes of the office building. It's gonna be built there. We reviewed some of the application materials and just a couple of inconsistencies that we noticed that we thought everyone should be aware of. One is that the four sides that border the SOA parcel, it was represented that, I believe, the trailer park, the mobile home facility to the east is a commercial space. And my clients have investigated, and our understanding is that the parcels where the mobile homes are located are on long-term leases, 6 months or more. So that would make them residential spaces, I believe. And the people that live there and rent them actually own the mobile homes that are located on them and just lease the land. That's my understanding. The second thing is, to the north, you have Audubon Drive, which I didn't see a classification for in the materials that were submitted. It's on page, it says adjacent land use at the bottom of the page, these four sides of the property there. My understanding is that would be residential too. I'm not terribly familiar with all the uses within the Sandestin DRI, but that particular area appears to be residential. Of course, my client's property, the Reeves property, which is to the west, to the east, is residential. And the only commercial part would be the part abutting Highway 98. So in fact, in our estimation, it's residential on 3 sides, not commercial on 3 sides. So that's one kind of inconsistency we wanted to point out.
Renee, would you like, or the
I'll let
applicant,
David.
would you like to respond to that? We'll do one at a time, if that's fine.
Sure, that's fine.
Regarding the easement, I'll let Michelle respond to it. But as far as mobile homes to the west, those are commercial. And I know with Walton County's Land Development Code and Comprehensive Plan are considered a commercial use. And then to the north is an approved stormwater management facility. It's not a residential use. There's a stormwater facility that serves Sandestin to the north, so that use obviously is not residential as well. To the east are residential dwellings, and then I'll let Michelle respond to the easement.
Once this project is approved and the project is complete, then if we needed to use the easement that borders 98, then we would come back for revision of our development order, seeking amendment.
So there's no current designed use of that easement for this project?
Correct.
And I will add, that will be a condition of this development order, that they will not use the easement unless they come back to amend the development order to use it.
And this may have been said before walking in here, and again, I apologize for that. But will the easement be used to transport construction equipment to the SOA parcel for the purposes of the land bridge to the north? I didn't see that in the package.
And I think that's one of the questions we asked was for a staging plan. David?
But as far as the easement, obviously, there are certain rights to the easement, but as far as construction of this development parcel, our plans are to come in from the north. We're going to construct a land bridge from the north, cross the approved stormwater management facility, and come in from the north with our construction equipment.
And that was my understanding at the pre-application, we asked those questions.
Mr. Reardon?
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, any other?
And if I could add, on the mobile home park, which is how it's actually listed from the property appraiser's office, so, and that's the way we're treating it, we are requesting a 10-foot buffer even in between that for vehicular use because their roadway is adjacent to that, to where they're coming to the facility that they'll be using for the office building. So we've also asked for a 10-foot buffer there as well, landscape buffer.
Okay, would that 10-foot buffer, in the future, would that 10-foot buffer continue down to the easement? So you're saying that the western edge of the SOA parcel will have a 10-foot buffer where it meets the mobile home park? Is that-
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to clarify with, I know that's a comment, but the reason for it is we have a single-family residential dwelling. So our position would be it would only be in the location of the single-family residential dwelling because we're a commercial use on the southern portion, which doesn't require a landscape buffer.
Right.
So it would not go all the way down the property to the easement.
Well, where you have the commercial to the commercial, you won't require it right there where the building is forward back. But what we're saying is the vehicular use area will require a 10-foot buffer but along the roadway, so up to the commercial
Where
building.
yeah, I agree, but not all the way down to the southern property
Not
down
the
to where.
actual
Right,
tip
I just want to
there.
clarify his
Okay.
question there.
Well, I'm not sure.
But we will be placing, a 20-foot buffer between residential and commercial, where applicable.
10 on each side.
No, 20 foot on their side.
Which is shown in the development plan.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I did see that. Has there been any DOT approval for the, I didn't see in the application there was DOT approval for the land bridge or anything like that. Is that in there and I just didn't see it?
And that's one of staff's comments. We do have approval from the Department of Transportation. We will be providing that information. We have coordinated with staff, with DOT. They have given us an approval letter, so we will provide that information.
So that'll be in the resubmittal package, sir, that, you're welcome to get a copy of.
Okay, this is my last one.
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
No, sir, no, we don't mind.
I think, I don't know if anyone has comments, but, on the Kinley Horn traffic study, it was in there, it appeared to be a couple of years old. I know there's been multiple traffic studies over the years before I became involved, so, I'm treading old ground, I apologize, but it did appear to be a couple of years old, and I didn't know if that was, acceptable as a recent, traffic study on which the TRC can make a decision.
I'd like to comment.
Yeah.
The Kimley Horn report that we submitted is dated August 8th, 2016.
Any additional comments on that?
That's today, submitted today?
No, that was submitted as part of the development order
August 8th.
application. That's part of the review that staff had, and it is current.
Okay, I must have missed that, I apologize. And I do have one more that I'll just sit down. The covered, it looks like there's gonna be 8 parking spaces in the front of the southern residence to be renovated on the SOA parcel. And then to the north of the southern residence, there appears to be a covered, I think it's about 56,000 square foot structure of some sort, parking structure. Is that, to me, that would seem to be a warehouse basically, for golf carts or whatever it may be.
My understanding, sir, is that it's for employee parking. It is Sandestin offices, and that they will be using some of their employee vehicles to be parked in that area. I don't see it as a warehouse. They're saying it's covered parking, and unless there's other evidence.
Is that light office use though? This is Coastal Center zone, we all agree on that? That's
Yes.
the zoning, okay. And that permits light office use, and I think in the code it talks about dentistry, doctor's offices and things like that.
Like I said, sir, this is an office, and that's the way we're treating it.
Okay. So there's no differentiation between what kind of office, if it's the Pentagon or something less. Is that, I just wanna make sure I understand.
Do you have any comments?
I agree
on
with
that?
what Renee said.
An office is an office.
In this instance, sir, it's Sandestin Owners Association office. I mean, we know what it is. That's why they're coming in and out of Sandestin to get to this parcel. I mean, I don't know what else I can say to you to answer your question.
We do have different parking requirements for if it's offices, that would be considered offices other than medical, and we do have different parking for medical, which are considered more intense. So this is just under the standard office.
Okay. And I guess part of my concern is that the renovation of a single-family residence wouldn't seem to entail a 8-space plus 56,000 square foot parking for employees to work at that single-family residence renovated office. Is there any, so there's, I just want to make sure, there's no differentiation between offices of light use or heavy use that TRC is making, is that accurate?
No,
Yeah, I don't think our code differentiates based off of that. I think, as Vivian stated, I think the only difference would be medical offices versus any other sort of office.
Okay. And has there been any discussion about how the Sandestin DRI is impacted by basically adding this SOA parcel?
Actually, I've asked them to get with DEO to make sure that there's no divesting of the vested area for this. I know previously Anna Richmond from DEO had signed off on the same project for them to come in and out in that area and didn't see this as an additional traffic generator for the DRI. This is traffic that's already within the DRI. So I expect to see them say the same thing. My concern was, that we're not getting into any open space of the vested area to make sure that that's not divested. So I've asked them to get with the state on that.
Okay. 'Cause looking at 380, it would seem that would be another external access point. Maybe not at this point since they're not using the easement, but at some point.
Well, also the area that they're accessing from is from the vested area, and so we would be looking, if they're divesting it, then we'd be back to coastal center land use looking at that, because this is not part of the DRI.
Right. Okay. Those are my comments. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you, Mr. Raymond. Is there anyone else from the public who'd like to speak on Sandestin Owners Association office building? Seeing none, is there any other discussion from the board?
My recommendations, we move this forward to the development order stage once all comments have been met.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is number 7, Cabanas at Topsail.
This is a minor development order application submitted by C&E Coastal LLC requesting to amend development order 06-001-00064, a condominium with 114 multifamily units by reducing the multifamily units to 78 units on 3.3 acres with a future land use of coastal center. This project's within the Topsail DRI. The Topsail DRI is actually expired, and the reason we're able to amend this development order is because this development order's been kept alive through extensions from 06. I know that's hard to read, but.
Yeah, it's like a code.
Yeah. Anyway, we do have some,
You're gonna have to translate that for us.
yeah, well, it looked better when it was on the screen than it did when I printed it. My apologies, because I was cutting and pasting, which means that's how it looked on the plans.
No, no, it's not.
We have some outstanding comments from planning, nothing that seemed like a deal killer. Looks like they could all, one thing I did want to note that this is to be a multifamily condominium, not a hotel, because when the DRI was amended before they did the 114 condominium units, it was very clear, and it was one reason that the owners out there didn't object, is that this would be a condo, not a hotel, because it was actually changed from hotel to condo.
State your name, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, I'm John Henderson, Henderson Engineering.
Well, the reason I'm calling it a condo hotel, all the units will be individually owned, but they'll be on a rental pool just like everything else
Understood.
in Topsail.
And condo-tel, I
and-
get it, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand.
Well, the traffic patterns are different than a condo. People are coming home from work in the evening in a condo, you know, and in a resort or a hotel, they're leaving to go out to
But this is not
dinner.
going to be a name brand like hotel.
No, no, no,
And
no. It's
that-
all gonna be managed by
Just wanted
Resort
to clarify
Quest.
that
just-
for the record,
yeah,
for the owners
no.
out there. I've had a couple of calls to make sure that this is a condominium and not a
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, each unit will be individually owned.
okay. We also had some engineering comments. There was quite a few engineering comments. Environmental, she's got a few comments as well. Do you have any questions, John?
Well, I think, you know, most of the questions we probably ought to just go over individually. I don't, you know, some of the items on the comments, and Bill and I already talked, we're gonna meet because the stormwater system's 35 years old, you know, and I've been to DCA or DEO, and I mean, I've been to the, Northwest Florida, you know, Planning Council, I've been to the DEP, I've been, you know, to the county,
The
you know.
records are slim.
Yeah, it's a little bit I have found some information and stuff, but I'm gonna have to make some assumptions and stuff, but I think we can get together on that and
Any
satisfy
questions
us.
for planning? Or
There's a
environmental?
few little questions. The only thing, the environmental thing I was a little, confused about, the habitat preservation and the maintenance plan and the removing the vines and stuff, you know. You know, in talking with the environmentalists, the habitat becomes overgrown with invasive species due to the lack of fires. You know, the property burns, it kills out the invasive species. And, so, you know, in the absence of the fires, the invasive species are gonna take over and stuff. And that's pretty much the same everywhere in all the
Right.
habitat preservation. But, you know, I don't know that there is any management
Now, on the
requirements,
maintenance-
or even, it's more or less prohibited. I mean, you can't really even touch the habitat
Right,
area,
but,
so.
one of
how
the
can-
things that we were talking about, a maintenance plan was for your actual landscape plan for, your xeriscaping, to make sure,
Okay.
that's what the maintenance plan was about. It was
Well, there's
related-
never a maintenance plan for landscaping.
For xeriscaping, there is, just
They're
to make
supposed
sure.
to be.
Okay, well, in the environmental comments, it also mentioned, the preservation area appears to be overgrown with invasive vines and restoration is needed.
I'll let you get with Kristen on
Okay,
that,
yeah.
what she needs from you, because
Okay.
I can't respond to it, so.
All right, well, I didn't think that there was anything in the code of, you know, restoring habitat preservation areas. I mean, we'll preserve it.
Well,
It was
I
called that
understand.
before, it may have
Typically, it's
changed
when it's
now, but,
removed. When you remove it,
no, it wasn't removed.
I
Yeah,
know,
that
what I'm
was a
saying is
mistake.
typically that's where a restoration plan.
Yeah,
comes in.
yeah, and
It's
that's what we
taken out,
thought
then
initially.
we
I thought part of the
require a
right of way had
restoration
been
plan.
cleared and beautified by the HOA, but that wasn't the case. After I,
But there is
yeah,
supposed
after
to be a
I spoke
maintenance schedule for xeriscaping.
Okay, I'll get with the landscape architect. then.
Okay, anything else?
No, everything else I think we can just
All right.
address.
With that said, we'll make a motion to move this project forward pending all comments from Matt.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion by Renee, second by Rita. Is there any other discussion by the board? Anyone here from the public who'd like to speak on Cabanas at Topsail? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, John.
Thank you all. I do.
Next is number 8, Peach Creek Phase 5. Tim?
This is a minor development order application submitted by Interlight Engineering requesting approval to, got approved and approved, that's not good. For 53 single-family lots on 18.42 acres with the future land use of CR 2-1. It's located east of Old Ferry Road and south of Coochie Road. It's the last phase of the Peach Creek development.
Oh, I'm getting there.
There's outstanding comments from planning, environmental, engineering. The one comment, I finally remembered, the comment I didn't make was concerning, staging.
Okay.
area. I'm not sure it was shown on the plans.
Okay, I'll make sure we add that.
Do you have any questions on the comments, David?
Just very minor. David Smith with Interlight Engineering Corporation. Again, the comments are all very straightforward. Tim, your number 3. I know we've had this conversation as the phases have come before the TRC. It is an approved master plan, and that's more just a recommendation, right?
Yes.
As far as the lot lines, okay? And then your number 5, I'll respond to that. That is a minimum.
Yeah, we weren't sure. Jason, was really,
Well, we've run into some older development orders that have similar language, and it's created some problems with approving homes down the road. So we just want that to be clear, that whether it is a minimum or a maximum on that number of stories.
And then same with number 8 is also a minimum for parking.
Right, because that has been another concern. We've got some DOs that list 2 parking spaces, which limits houses to 3 bedrooms. So we wanted to, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. We just want it to be clear that that's the intent,
So
or
with
not the intent.
Would the way then to address both those comments would just be in my response to comments? Just say those
well,
are minimums?
I think you should put it on the site plan, in the
Okay.
site data table. It's a minimum of 2 parking spaces per lot, and it's a minimum of 2 stories per
Okay.
lot. That way, it's clear if the staff report or anything gets separated from the plans.
You
Okay.
can say it's gonna meet the code.
Aaron, did
I
you have a
agree.
comment?
Well, I didn't know about the minimum of 2 stories, but it's just because I'm sure there's some 1-story houses that are proposed.
Well, that's a good point.
Right.
is- Yeah, I mean, I'd want to just say we'll meet the land development code. You know, if they come in with a 1-story home, or they
That's
come
probably
in
the best
with,
way to do it.
yeah.
Because the land development code's always potentially changing.
Or I could say stories 1 through 4 or something.
You could put at the time of development, so it'll meet the code at the time of development on there.
In the site data table?
And
Can I do that
quote
on
the-
everything?
quote- Yeah, but quote the code that you're referencing,
Okay.
you know,
Well,
like it be.
But it
Our
might,
share is-
it might change.
We'll say for height or for parking or.
Parking in
But
there.
if you quote a section, 50102,
Agreed,
it might
agreed,
change.
that's
Right, I mean,
what
or
I'm
if you, the concern was we just, down the road, when people come in to actually build houses there, we didn't want it to become a point of confusion.
Right.
Unless your security code's gonna change in a negative way that'll impact you.
So, I mean, we can discuss it further, but
Yeah, and
just to make
I'm
sure that
clear.
that it doesn't become a hindrance to the development.
I'll make sure we clarify the stories and that are the minimums, and we clarify parking's a minimum as well. And then I'll come up with some way to clarify.
I mean, you might just say 4 stories, 50 feet.
Right,
But then I don't, and I know, I don't want you to review and say, well, this home has to be 4-story. I mean, I want to make sure, you know, it
You
swings.
just up to.
yeah,
Up
no
to,
more,
that's
Okay.
what most of them
no more
say.
than 4 stories or
Okay.
something.
Oh,
I think
maximum
the
4
parking
stories.
was a little bit more of our concern than anything else, because the number of parking spaces directly correlates to the number of bedrooms
Right.
in the house, and that's
Right.
where the conversation started was,
Right.
so, but we can work that out.
And that's all I had.
Any other discussion? Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments.
Second.
A motion by Tim, second by Rita. Is there anyone from the public who wish to speak on Peach Creek Phase 5? Seeing none, any other discussion from the board? We've got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next is Alice Beach Block S, The May, formerly known as Town Center 2. Tim?
This is a minor development order application submitted by Interlight Engineering requesting to construct 6,236 square feet of restaurant space on the ground floor with 8 condominium units above on 1.1 acres with the future land use of T&D. It's located on the north side of County Road 38 at the intersection of North Castle Harbor Drive and East La Garza Lane. This is amending the previous development order issued for Block S. There are outstanding comments from planning, and that's it, just planning. Well, there is one comment from fire, you needed an additional fire hydrant.
I'm David Smith with Interlight Engineering Corporation, and the comments look minor as well, and so we would request to be moved forward, please. And if we have any questions, we'll correspond, Sandy, with you, if that's okay offline, and same with you, Tim.
Yeah, a lot of this is just,
Clarification. I agree.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments.
I'll second.
A motion by Tim, second by Renee. Is there anyone from the public who'd wish to speak on Alice Beach Block S? Seeing none, any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Tim. Next is item 10, Leisure Lake Road abandonment. Tim?
This is a petition for abandonment application submitted by Walton County Public Works requesting abandonment of a portion of Leisure Lake Road right-of-way on 4.09 acres with a future land use of rural residential. It's located on Leisure Lake Road, east Roberts Road and west of Vicky Lane. It's the Leisure Lake Dam, and this is the dam staff report. There's no comments on this.
You've been waiting all month for that.
Hey, he dared me to do that, so need I say more? There's no comments. This is moving forward. It'll be at the Planning Commission tomorrow night. So I moved to approve the abandonment application and move it forward to the Planning Commission.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the board? Anyone from the public who wishes to speak on Leisure Lake Road abandonment? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good job, Tim. Next is number 11, Howell abandonment. Also by Tim.
This is a petition for abandonment application submitted by Jenkins Engineering requesting the abandonment of a portion of the right-of-way for Robert Avenue with the future land use of Rural Village. It's located south of State Road 20 and west of Wildwood Street. It's on the north side of the bay. Let's see, there are some planning comments, and looks like that's it currently, it's planning, and they're minor in nature.
And Public Works comment.
Oh, yeah,
They're
standard.
boilerplate.
They're standard,
Yeah,
we
they're boilerplate,
object.
yeah. Exactly.
Except for the last one, right?
Actually, they did request approving the last one, yes. Scott?
Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering. Just quickly, this is an abandonment of a section of right-of-way that is basically segmented off from, because there's a canal on the other side that's existing, and you couldn't get there. There is another access right on the other side of this that people use now. Don't have any questions from your comments, Tim. I think they're pretty straightforward. Just complete the resolution, and be happy to answer any questions you guys have.
So this just gives those two lots access?
That portion of the right-of-way?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. However, there's a roadway called Wildwood, as you can see right on the other
Right.
side, that they actually use for access.
I was talking about access to the canal.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Just so
access
we're
to the
clear.
canal, that's correct, yes.
Okay.
So, do the owners on either side, are they party to this?
Mhm.
Because it's gonna be split in half.
Yeah.
Does Robert Avenue run all the way to the canal?
It
Or does
it comes
stop
up
just
short
before?
by maybe 50 or 60 feet, I'd say, but almost, yeah.
All right, do we have a motion, Tim?
I move to approve the abandonment application pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments and move it forward to the planning commission.
Second. Okay, ready to
We've
go.
got a second by Rita. Is there any other discussion? Anyone from the public who wishes to speak on the Howell abandonment? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Next is number 12, Spyglass Hill 2 plat.
This is a plat application submitted by Seaside Engineering requesting approval to plat 5 residential lots on 1.99 acres with a future land use of low-density residential. It's located on the south side of Seacroft Drive, approximately 485 feet east of County Road 393 South. Let's see, there's planning comments, public work comments. Yeah, planning and public work comments. The one comment, Kermit, that's not on here, this came up after the staff report was complete, is both the staff report and the site plan, the approved site plan says this is 1.99 acres. But the survey that was provided says it's 2.51.
Okay, the site plan says 1.99. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know, I'll have to look at that and see.
And
We didn't do
Scott
engineering.
left, it was Jenkins Engineering
Yeah.
did the site plan. Just want to clarify
I'll have to look.
what's the correct acreage, because the survey says 2.51.
And if it's over the 2 acres, does it trigger preservation?
Yes, but it was approved at 1.99.
So it appears some of the right-of-way
Right-of-way.
wasn't claimed as ownership at some
Right.
point.
The right of use to go to the center of Seacroft.
Just if you could clarify that for us.
Okay.
Yeah,
There was also a question regarding the alley, or the easement that's on the rear. It seems to be completely locked by buffers.
And
well, I
swales,
spoke to
stormwater.
Scott about that.
Okay.
It's just the symbol is just showing that it's all the way down the lot line.
What about the stormwater?
Obviously, it's
swell?
not gonna be across the alleyway.
What about the swell, the stormwater swell that was there?
Yeah, I mean,
Scott says that it was designed for a driveway. It was designed, put a culvert in and put a
Okay.
driveway across.
Okay.
but I don't think the DO plan showed that.
No, it didn't.
No.
So should they amend their development order to correct the stormwater to show that access so that they'll be able to put homes on there?
I don't know.
I
They-
mean,
well, they
Scott-
showed-
Because they're showing
Scott
us this,
says it was
access to the
designed with, I don't have the plan on
The-
that one, but
the-
the other one does.
The access off of North Dino,
Can you give,
He-
Bill
oh.
a copy?
the access off of North Dino, according to the DO plan, showed the culvert accesses.
And they're wanting to have, carriage houses in
But-
the back.
But the
Main
DO
house would
plans
be
do not show any
off
sort of
Dino,
culvert
carriage
access off the
house would be
rear.
off of that. You're right, it doesn't.
but it just showed, a 2-foot swell basically that was dipping on, and there's no way without having to put in culverts to be able to do that. And we didn't see the culverts and stuff on the plans showing any driveway access through there at all on the DO plans.
And the connection from that easement or that access to Seacroft would have to go through the landscape buffer.
Well, again, that's just a symbol. If you look in the legend, it shows landscape buffer.
They can bunch those landscaping up
Yeah, they can close
and leave the
those
driveway
out.
Okay,
open as
okay.
long as they put the correct number in.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
the driveway
wanna
is
do
gonna
That's
be
not the
open.
problem.
I mean,
It's
it
just
does,
stormwater.
it's just to symbolize that it's going the whole length of the lot line, but
Yeah, I think it's there to show the easement.
what's to show the buffer?
No, but the retention area.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I was saying
yes.
it's there to show the easement. The
Yes.
problem is it doesn't show any encroachment into that.
No.
to allow
and
for the
neither-
culvert.
And the approved plans.
Right, the
don't.
approved development order
Don't
plans don't
either.
show it.
So if they're planning on accessing through there, they need to amend the stormwater plan? Or we're not gonna be able to allow access through there, is that correct? Because
Well,
they're gonna have to
I'll
drive
have to
through
go
the.
back and check, but I think we had them get rid of those, that access. The carriage homes weren't
That's what I'm
gonna be,
afraid of.
you know, it was
They're all
one
gonna come
access.
in there?
Right.
See, I took this over from Brian, and it was his staff report. All I did was take my name off of it and put his on it, and I did the development order based on that staff report. But this is exactly like, I mean, the plat looks like the approved site plan.
Well, we need to take a look. figure out.
Yeah, the problem is we
about that
have-
I
access.
should have had Scott
That
stay
building
behind,
permit kind
because
of tells the story.
Right.
Jenkins did the.
Yeah,
site.
the concern came up where they had
David,
submitted
David,
a
it's
building
on-
permit
it's on.
application for one of the sites. And that's where we noticed that the intent is to actually access off of that, but there's no allowance for that. And so that needs to be clarified, because I don't think we would be able to permit any sort of access through the way it's designed currently. And if there was a comment from the development order that requested them to remove those accesses, is that,
I remember there were some issues with the carriage houses.
so I think
I
that
need to-
needs to be
And
addressed.
of course, stormwater being on the lot line and stuff, so it was common area, and it wasn't, so I need to go back and review that. I don't review plats, so that's why I didn't have anything on this one,
Gotcha.
but it needs to match what we approved for stormwater.
Well, and the other issue, like Jason brought up, and this is not anything to do with the plat per se, but Max said that they couldn't reduce the lot under 2 acres to get out of the preservation by dedicating it to the county. But that's what is happening here, and like I say, it was Grimes' staff report, it said 1.99 acres, so I approved it for 1.99 acres. But when Max saw this, he's like, I thought we worked this out, and I'm like, well, I don't know, I mean, it was done, all I did was issue the development order.
I believe that it's based on if the actual lot, the parcel, not the development area. And this site has, it's like 4 lots, so there's not
Yeah, the original.
one 2.5 acre lot, there's multiple lots.
Yeah, there's 5
They make
parcel
up
numbers.
development, and the code is, if the lot itself is over 2 acres. That's what I'm understanding from MAC, because I've talked to him about this one, because the other one next to it, which is 1 parcel, this is 5 parcels.
5 parcels, yeah.
So each parcel is less than 2 acres. It's-
Oh, okay, so that's how
it's not the
it addressed it.
development, but the parcel,
That makes sense.
if it's more than.
I have a question for that comment, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Are you
just,
suggesting then, if I may?
yeah, if you just state your name.
Melissa
Melissa.
Ward,
Thanks.
not for anything in particular, but just on the issue of preservation. Are you suggesting then that the entire development, because it's over 2 acres, does not require preservation, when that's not been the case in the county before? Is that the new interpretation?
Is that what,
I'm not
we
sure.
probably wouldn't have to discuss that.
Yeah, but I think it's by the,
Parcel?
by the
I don't
record.
think
So if 20 acres
I
came
think
in and
it's
split
by
it
the
up to
development.
half-acre lots, they wouldn't be required to have preservation on the
Yeah,
entire 20
Melissa, I
acre lot?
think you're correct. I think, and we'll discuss it with Mac and Wayne, but no, usually it's the whole development we look at, what the
Entire
vegetative
site.
community is that's together.
Entirely, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
So Tim, with those comments, what do you, and do you have any questions or?
Well,
responses?
yeah.
And if you wouldn't mind
I
stating your
don't, but
name.
Jenkins has to answer, has to address those.
We have a previously issued development order, but however, so I think the preservation has already been done.
Right, the preservation.
We're not
portion.
gonna take the development order back. I believe it's already been written on the preservation. So with that off the table, why don't we look at the stormwater issue that we probably need at least a less than minor amendment to correct the stormwater, to put in culverts in the back if their intent is to use them. And Tim, I don't mean to be speaking for you, but otherwise, they were
I
not gonna
wasn't
be
sure.
able to access off that rear of that property line from that alley.
I wasn't sure what to do. I mean, Scott told me that it was designed for driveways.
Well, it's a 2-foot
In terms of
swell
the
that they're gonna be doing
drainage
this right here according
calculations
to
and
the
all
drainage
that?
plans.
Yeah, based on the approved.
But I guess the best thing would be to continue it to the next TRC meeting.
And let's bring it back and get, we'd have to get Scott to look at and
Well,
explain
I
that
understand that,
drainage.
but you
Let's do
know,
one at a time. And if, did we get your name, sir?
Kermit George, Seaside Engineering.
Thank you.
Well, you know, the client is gonna be very, very upset, because he really wanna get this little project through. If there's any way we can resolve this without having to go to another meeting, it would really be good. And it doesn't seem like this is a big deal if he just gotta add covers to his drawing. I don't think that'll alter its stormwater plan significantly.
But we still have to amend the plans to show that the current development order would have to be amended to show the new stormwater design. So that would take a less than minor amendment, not that that would take a whole lot, it would be an engineering review, a planning review, and pretty much would be done with it. But if they're not gonna access either that, or we need something that says they're not gonna access off that alley the way it's right now.
Just remove the easement.
Because the other question that would arise is if it's going to be used as access, would then be for emergency services, because if the carriage houses are only accessible by that back alley, I would think that there's some concern there that would need to be addressed as well.
Yep. And we know that they plan on accessing through there because they've already submitted a building permit to show
To
their
do that.
access off through there, and that's when we pulled the drainage plans to look at it to see, well, how are they gonna get across the swell?
Well,
Sorry.
I can't deal with any of that. I'm just a plat guy, so y'all know what you gotta do, I guess. It's just, I know Mr. Abbott was pressing me really hard, you know.
I suggest we do a less than minor, or they do some type of statement that they're not gonna cross it.
Yeah, I wish we'd had Scott, not you, but we didn't.
Well, if we approved it to move forward with the outstanding comments and conditions being met.
Yeah, I mean, we
We
wouldn't take it,
can-
we wouldn't take it to the county commission until it
Right.
was.
And add, the condition that it either gets the less than minor or a statement that it will not be accessing off that rear alley. One of the two. I'd add that condition to your, and comments to your staff report.
But it's okay on the front.
The front's
Yeah, the
fine.
front, the original development order plans showed the culvert access through the
In the
front.
front, okay.
It
Yes,
did
sir.
not show one for the rear, which is
Okay.
where the issue arose.
Now, if they do put in culverts, is that gonna affect your opinion
I'd have to look at
as
it.
far as access? Because
there's street
once they
width,
put the culverts in, they keep that access back there.
He would have to.
If they
leave
do
Yeah,
that,
the
then
access would
it's
have to
still gonna
be,
an issue
the access would have to be
because
Make sure
reviewed.
Sammy saw the less than minor if we go that
Because that's the
route.
only way you're
One
gonna be
at a
able
time.
to get to those carriage houses.
All right, so,
Melissa's got it.
Um,
So you
one-
have to make that part.
yeah, Melissa,
Does the plat match the development plans, or does it not? I'm confused as to what's happening. If the legal description in the ad says it's over 2 acres, the DO, according to the staff report, says it's less than 2 acres. Does it match the development plan?
Yes.
And are you,
well,
The plat does match the development plan, yes.
But the acreage does not.
the acreage does not, if it does not, that means preservation may not, and then the access may not. Are you moving it forward? Is that what I understand? I know you haven't made a motion.
Right, we haven't made a
Why don't we
motion
do that
yet,
before
so-
you have a motion?
Other than the alley not being labeled, this looks exactly like the site plan. And, you know, the sidewalk's not shown and the driveways aren't shown. They're not shown on the plat.
So the engineering is different.
Well, no, I mean, you don't show that on the plat. You don't plat the driveway. You don't plat the sidewalk along the road.
Does
But
it change the stormwater plan?
Scott says no.
What does the person submitting the plat say, or does he know?
Well, they
no,
didn't-
it's-
they
the
didn't do
engineer is
site
not
plan.
here.
Okay, I'm just curious as to what the process, I apologize, go ahead.
Do we have a motion?
Well, what's the wishes of the board? I mean, we can move it forward and just not take it to the county commission until it's ready, or we can continue it to the next meeting. I mean, we're not gonna take it to the commission until it's
I would
ready.
implore y'all to do that, for the sake of this business, a small project. And Mr. Abbott, you know, he's gonna be very disappointed if we don't move forward. I'm sure Mr. Jenkins will resolve this.
I would make it part of your motion, Tim, me, to make sure that there's condition on moving it forward, that one of those two things are gonna take place. Either they're not going to access from the rear of the property, or they're going to amend the stormwater plan.
Okay.
And all conditions are met.
Well, that's.
Right, that's part of it.
Result out of the, option that is
Well,
chosen.
he's gotta resolve the
because-
acreage issues and everything else as well before he
Right,
can
the
move forward.
access issues.
Okay, so did we have a motion yet?
I'll make a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments, including either removing the rear access or amending the site plan and move it forward to the Board of County Commission.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Is there anyone else from the public who'd like to speak on Spyglass? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
We have one opposed.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Was there two opposed? I'm sorry. And Bob? Okay.
Bob and Rita.
So Kermit, do you have any questions?
No, we can take care of everything else. No problem.
Church house is on the 20-foot road.
Okay. All right, next is item 13, Robert O'Brien lot split.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We have a
Vivian?
already for this development.
This is a major development order application for a lot split submitted by Marilyn and Robert O'Brien, requesting a lot split of the existing parcel of .41 acres. This is located in Inlet Beach on the north side. The Walton County land use category is neighborhood infill, and the Inlet Beach land use category is workplace. This is going through on a lot split application, and basically it meets the requirement of a lot split.
So we're taking it to the board as a major under the lot split application
Correct.
process. Okay.
Because it's in the land use
Infill
category, I
category.
think so.
Because it was on the pre-app notes that,
Be a major.
that it would, that it would have to be a lot split application versus a major development order.
So we're
application.
honoring the pre-app. Understood. Okay.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to move it forward to the planning commission tomorrow night.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board? Is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak on the Robert O'Brien lot split? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, last item, number 14, Seacrest WWTP expansion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a minor development order application submitted by Mr. Ryan Douglas, the Vice President of the Regional Utilities.
Thank you.
Requesting approval to upgrade the existing 2 million gallons a day wastewater treatment plant to an operational level of 4 million gallons a day on the 26.24 plus or minus acres with future land use of public facilities. There are still outstanding comments from Public Works and the Fire Marshal. Because of that, staff would like to make a motion to conditionally approve the Seacrest wastewater treatment plant expansion, minor development order pending staff comments and resubmittal.
I'll make a second.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Ryan Douglas, Regional Utilities. Any questions you might have? Good to see everybody.
Good to see you too, Ryan. Do you have any questions for us?
Not really. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we've got, like you said, 2 sets of comments waiting on us.
Any other discussion from the board? Is there anyone from the public who'd wish to speak on Seacrest wastewater treatment plant expansion? Seeing none? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Didn't do too bad, though.
More time you may add, or just nothing. The only building you got to worry about fire on is gonna be on the front, on the east side.
3 minutes prior.
Be real close, huh?
That's
Shouldn't
what I'm
be a
looking
big deal.
for.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
All concrete tanks.
Take all these minutes.
Feel free to come out and see.
So you said that